This video I'm going to show you how to solve for the Model 5 guided lab, that's creating an Amazon RDS database. So by the end of this video, you should be able to get a score of 20 out of 20. Okay, so let's get right to it. So this is the solution for Model 5 guided lab, that is creating an Amazon RDS database. So the objective of this lab is that traditionally, creating a database can be a complex process that requires either a database administrator or systems administrator. Okay, so in the cloud, you can simplify this process by using Amazon RDS. Okay, so RDS is a fully managed database service of AWS. Okay, so after completing this lab, we should be able to launch a database using Amazon RDS and then configure a web application to connect to the database instance. So by the end of the lab, this is how your architecture is going to look like, where you set up a MySQL database in the private subnet, and then it will connect to the EC2 instance in the public subnet. So to begin with, you start the lab. So I've already started the lab. That's why my time is reducing here. So after starting the lab, then you click on AWS to open the management console. So when this happens, you click here and then close it. And then open it again. And it is going to automatically sign you in to the AWS management console. So let's look at the task to perform. Okay. All right. So remember that for Windows users, you have to use Chrome or Firefox, right? That is the recommended one because they are saying that the lab instructions are not compatible with Internet Explorer. So if you are using Internet Explorer, don't change it to Chrome, okay? And then use the lab there. All right. So in search box in the right of services, search RDS. So search RDS and then choose create database. So let's go to the services menu, and then we have RDS already here. If you don't have it here, then search it here, okay? But since we have it here, we are going to click on it. And it is going to open the RDS management console. So let's click on databases. And then what are we? Okay, so we are asked to create a database. So we will just create the database here. All right. So under engines option, select MySQL. So we are going to maintain the standard create, and then we are going to select MySQL here. All right. And then what else? From enterprise class databases to dev test. Okay. Okay. So set the template and availability and durability option. So under the template section, select dev test. So you go to the template and we are asked to select the dev test here. And then under the availability and durability, select single DB instance. So under availability, you should select single DB instance. All right. And then under settings section, configure these options. So the DB instance identifier should be instance DB. So we just copy this and then replace it here, right? So and then the username is admin. Okay, so it is already here, admin. And then the lab password. Okay, so the password should be lab password. So let's copy the password and then paste it here. So credentials, just go to self-manage and then you'll be able to enter your password and then enter the password here again. All right. The next task is under the DB instance class section, configure these options. So select bastable class. Okay, so under DB instance class, this is the DB instance class. So under that, we are to select multiple classes. Okay, and then select the DB T3 micro. It is already selected here. Okay, so let's move on. And then under the connectivity section, configure these options. So the virtual private cloud should be lab VPC, and then we should choose the security group to be DBSG. So let's click on it. Yeah, let's maintain the general purposes here. Under connectivity, yes. So under connectivity, you are going to connect to the lab VPC. Then for the security group, this one, yes, it will be highlighted. So remove the default security group. So we have to remove the default security group and then select the DB security group here. Okay, so there is no option for the availability zone, so we maintain it. And then initial database name should be inventory, so let's select it. Initial database name is inventory. Let's see. Remember to untick enhanced monitoring, right? It is one of the requirements here, right? Okay, so let's click on additional configuration. Initial database name, that is what they are asked. Initial database name should be inventory, so let's replace it with inventory here. And then this is a logical name. Okay, you should turn off enable enhanced monitoring. We've done that. Okay, so when we are done, we will just choose create. You scroll down and then choose create database, and it's going to create the database for you. Right, so this will normally take some time. All right, so while we are waiting, let's check the task 2. Let's see, configuring web application communication with a database instance. So this lab automatically deploy an Amazon Elastic Cloud Compute instance with a running web application. So you must use the IP address of the instance to connect to the application. So in the search box to the right of services, search for choose EC2 to open the EC2 console. So to do that, let's just duplicate this tab and then search for the EC2 here. So let's search for EC2, then open the EC2 console here. All right, let's check the process. Okay, so it is creating. Okay, yes, so the database, the inventory DB, the database is creating here. So it will take some time. So I'm going to pause the video, and then when it is done creating, then I'll continue with the lab. Okay, so you can see that it is done running. Okay, so this took like 10 minutes. Okay, so it has to be available before you continue with the next task. So you were to open the EC2 console, right? And I notice that there's an instance running called the app server. So let's go to EC2 and then click on the running instances, and we can see that the app server instance is running. Okay, all right, so the next thing to do is in the details tab, copy the public IPv4 address and then paste it in a new tab and then hit enter. So let's select it. Alternatively, we can choose to select the IPv4 DNS and then paste it in a new tab, then hit enter. Okay, so we've seen these things here. And then choose settings, and then you can now configure the application to use the RDS DB instance you created earlier. You will first retrieve the database endpoint so that the application knows. Okay, so we are asked to select the settings, and then we have this to configure. Okay, so let's scroll down, and then in the services search, in the service search box, search for and then choose RDS. So we've already opened the RDS, right? Okay, so in the left navigation pane, choose databases and then choose inventory DB. This is the inventory DB. You should choose it. Let's click on it and then it will open. Okay, so scroll to connectivity and security section and then copy the endpoint to your clipboard. So let's check the endpoint here. We have the endpoint here, right? So let's copy it and then paste it in a notes pad here. Okay, then what's the next thing to do? Return to the browser tab and then configure this. So we should paste the endpoint here. So let's paste the endpoint here, and then for databases we should choose inventory. So we will select inventory for the database, and then for username is admin, and then the password is lab password. Okay, so the username is admin. See, it has already suggested it here, and then the password is lab password. So let's save it, and now we have our database here. Okay, yes, so let's look at the thing to do. So the application will now connect to the database, load some initial data and display the information. So add inventory by choosing the edit, and then delete inventory information by using the web application. So the inventory information is stored in the Amazon RDS MySQL database that you created earlier. So this means that the failure in the application server will not lose any data. Okay, great. So insert new records into the table. Ensure that the table has 5 or more inventory records. So let's add, how many inventory records do we have here? We have 3. So let's add 2 more. So add inventory record. So the store, I'm going to choose like Ghana, and then the item I'm going to choose let's say Amazon AMI, and then for quantity I'll choose 4. Okay, and then submit, and then I'll add another inventory, then I will name it let's say India, and then the item I will choose Amazon Lambda, and then the quantity I will choose, let's say 10. Then I'll submit it. So right now I have at least 5 inventory records, okay, as required. So you have now successfully launched the application and then connected to the database, and optionally you can access the saved parameter in the systems manager console under parameter store. So let's submit our work and then look at our marks. You click yes. So we are submitting the work, and then the results will be displayed in a minute. All right. We are waiting for the report here. So we have like a few seconds to see the results. And now you can see that we have 20 out of 20. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe and then like and then share. Thank you very much for watching this video.